When today's guest started playing high school football in Crawford, Mississippi, he barely knew how the game was played. But he worked hard, then harder, and then even harder still, and became an all-state receiver, an All-American at Mississippi Valley State College, and an All-Pro with the San Francisco 49ers. He didn't stop working until he retired as the greatest receiver in history, and arguably, as one recent poll stated, the greatest NFL player of all time. And it's my real pleasure to welcome a guy that I've admired for a long, long time, Jerry Rice. How are you?
Fantastic. Thanks for having me.
Well, I'll tell you, that glowing opening is only deserving for you, Jerry. I mean, for a young man who was the sixth of 8 children in Crawford, Mississippi, who used to catch bricks and felt there was pressure catching bricks, because your dad was a mason, right?
Yeah, he was a mason, and he would take me to work with him during the summer, and I had a job to do. And if I didn't do my job, back in Mississippi, you got discipline. So he taught me the meaning of hard work. And, after I got drafted by the San Francisco 49ers, I think it was already instilled in me, and I tried to carry that on.
You have stated that you need hard hands to catch bricks and soft hands to catch footballs.
Okay, the funny thing about the myth out there is that I learned how to catch footballs from catching bricks. And, I would be on a scaffold that was maybe 20 feet in the air. Mm-hmm. And my brother, we had designed this technique where they would throw 2 bricks and they would separate, and I had to snatch them out of the air. So I think that helped me with my hand and eye coordination. But I think overall, just working with my father just taught me the meaning of hard work. And that's something that I, once I got to the San Francisco 49ers, I wanted to outwork my opponent, because it was just inside me.
That and fear of failure. There was fear of failure. Fear of failure can be a great motivator, can't it?
Yes, you're right about that. And I never wanted to let my parents down. I didn't want to let the people from Mississippi down, and also Bill Walsh and my teammates. So it was always that fear of failure that kept pushing me. And I think it made me into the best football player that I could possibly be.
You always had great quarterbacks. Even at Mississippi Valley State, you had Willie Totten.
I made all of those quarterbacks good. That was the secret, with Willie Totten, Joe Montana, Steve Young. But we just complimented each other. Mm-hmm. And I think you have to build a chemistry and respect for each other. And I remember when I first came in, I had some adversity because I wanted to catch that first ball from Joe Montana to win him over. And I think I put pressure on myself.
But prior to Joe Montana and the 49ers, though, the stadium, in fact, at Mississippi Valley now is named Rice Totten Field. That's got to make you feel
it does.
good.
It does, because I had the opportunity to play with Willie Totten, get to know him, and also do some great things in Mississippi. Mm-hmm. That was the most important thing. And, I went to predominant black school, Mississippi Valley State University, mm-hmm. and at the time, I think you had Walter Payton that was in the NFL from Jackson State. So right. I felt if I had success, if I got drafted, then maybe those scouts would go back in there and look at those players.
And the reason you went to Mississippi Valley was because of Archie Cooley, right? Archie was the one guy
yes.
Who came to see you play.
It was Archie the gunslinger Cooley. Because he wanted to throw the ball the majority of the time. And at that time, they had almost something close to the West Coast offense. It was the no huddle. And during the no huddle, the ball is going to be in the air. We were able to, beat Jackson State University, also Southern, also Grambling. So, that meant the world to me.
I can imagine. And then going to the 49ers, you could have easily been a Dallas Cowboy. And we're going to talk about how that could have happened right after this. We're with the great Jerry Rice. We'll be back.
What can I say about the genius, the legend? He was like magic. He would cast a spell on you, just being in his presence. You wanted to win for this guy. There was just something about him and he knew how to get the best out of his football players. Bill is the reason I played in the NFL. He was like a father to me, someone I could talk to about relationships and business of professional football. I never wanted to let my father down, and I was afraid to let Bill Walsh down.
When the San Francisco 49ers legendary coach Bill Walsh first saw Jerry Rice on film playing for Mississippi Valley State, he said it was almost laughable how good he was. I mean, you guys had a mutual respect for one another that very, very few players and coaches have.
Well, really, Bill is the reason why I played professional football, because he gave me an opportunity. And I think they were in New Orleans to play the New Orleans Saints, and he was looking at some old film from college football on that given Saturday. And he noticed me running across the field, catching the football, being explosive, and he gave me an opportunity to play in the NFL.
He was taken with your strides also. He said you had just a beautiful gait about the way you ran.
Yeah, the way I ran my routes, I wanted to be explosive with everything, and I took a lot of pride in it. And that was very important for me to break the defensive back cushion. That was very important. And the way I ran my routes and also caught the football.
And Bill also preached being aggressive on the line of scrimmage, and that made the route easier to run, right?
Well, he would always say you have to win at the line, and that's something you don't see today. If you beat your defender at the line of scrimmage, then you're going to have a bigger avenue for the quarterback to throw the football. So it's called winning at the line of scrimmage, and we took a lot of pride in that.
And Jerry, you have said that you were scared to death before every professional game.
Yeah.
I mean, people can understand that. I mean, they can really relate to that.
Right, but I used that fear to make me a better football player, because you notice I never got hit by that many guys. Mm-hmm. So I was always playing at a whole different speed. It's almost like, they couldn't hit what they couldn't see. That was very important to me. And the way I ran my routes, my decision making on the football field, it was very important, and I think that gave me longevity for so many years.
To the point where Super Bowl 24, when you guys played the Denver Broncos, Bill Walsh had said the defensive backs hit hard, but they don't wrap you.
The thing about that is that, they had two big safeties. They had Smith and they had Atwater. Mm. And what we noticed on film is that, that they wanted to hit you and really hurt you, but they didn't wrap up. Mm. So we were able to expose that during Super Bowl 24. And I knew after I caught the ball and Atwater tried to deliver that blow that I would be able to bounce off that and get into the end zone. Mm. So we used that to our advantage.
We are going to talk more with the incomparable Jerry Rice right after this. I'm back with Jerry Rice, who set virtually every NFL receiver record, as well as the record for most touchdowns of all time by anyone, with an astounding 208.
208.
208 TDs?
Yeah, I came up a little short. I wanted more, but, I had two great Hall of Fame quarterbacks. And, we took pride in what we were doing on the football field, and I think that's why we had so much success on the field.
Your timing was impeccable.
Yeah.
You talked about beating the defensive back on the line of scrimmage, and then when you turned, the ball was already in the air. The timing, I don't think I've ever seen timing between those guys and all of the receivers of the 49ers, but particularly you.
Well, yeah, the offense for the West Coast is about timing. So if Joe Montana had a 3-step drop, the ball is in the air. If he had a 5-step, the ball is in the air. It was about precision, and I think we worked on that precision during practice, repetition over and over, so we could, transfer that to the football field on that given Sunday.
You missed 10 games in 20 years, 3 because of a strike and 7 because of your knee. I mean, that's unbelievable for that position.
Yeah, because the lifespan, they say the lifespan of a football player is about 4 years. And for me to be able to accomplish what I did, it showed that I loved the game and it came from the heart. You know, I enjoyed going out there entertaining so many people, you know, touching so many lives on that given Sunday or that Monday Night Football.
For being the greatest player in the history of the game, arguably. But you always work with partnerships. Joe Montana, Steve Young, and that's what made Dancing with the Stars so easy. I mean, it came to you like that.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, you know, football is just like doing a dance. I mean, the way you know exactly where your feet are, you know, being on the sidelines, being able to ratty-tat-tat, do little steps like that. Then when I did Dancing with the Stars, I had honor to Buscaya, which in the first time I met her, she asked me, she said, "Do you want to win this competition?" And I said, yes, I want to win it and stuff like that. But I never knew how difficult, you know, this dance would, how difficult it would be.
You lost 14 pounds.
I lost 14 pounds.
Training for this.
I was going 14 hours in the morning, not 14 hours, but 4 hours in the morning. Then as I got to the semifinals, I was going 4 hours in the morning, 4 hours in the evenings.
That's in January and February of 2006, right?
Yes, exactly. But look, you know, pretty good. I'm holding my breath. You know, I'm trying not to invade her territory. You know, it was all about that. I'm trying to express myself to the audience, and now I'm doing my little move there. I do my little skip, slide. So it was a great experience for me. It was a lot of work, and I meet so many people, and I'm a little hesitant because I don't know if they know me from Dancing with the Stars or if they know me from professional football.
Probably an older generation knows your football career inside out.
Yeah.
And then the younger folks give you a better appreciation for it.
Little kids that didn't know anything about me from football, you know, they can identify with me by Dancing with the Stars. And it's so funny, when I go through airports, you know, I see moms and stuff like that, they shimmy at me. And of course, being the guy that I am, I shimmy back. So it's like, you know, it's like, it is so funny but I think with Dancing with the Stars, it just opened up a whole new avenue of people, and you know, I was really honored to have the opportunity.
Well, Jerry Rice shimmied and shook a lot of defensive backs in his career, and we'll be back to talk more with Jerry Rice right now. Perhaps Jerry Rice explained his unparalleled success when he said that he never considered himself a legend, but like a rookie trying to make the team and needing to work hard.
Yes.
You really felt that way, too.
I felt I had to prove myself every year, and I wanted to earn that job. That was very important to me. So I never went in with the attitude that, hey, look, I'm the starter. Yeah, I wanted to prove to my teammates that I deserved to be on that football field.
From an outsider looking in, Jerry, that was almost like the 49ers approached things, too, because you can't win Super Bowl after Super Bowl without that attitude, I wouldn't imagine.
No, you can't, and you got to have players that's willing to sacrifice, that's committed to going out there, you know, practicing the right way, you know, and putting the time in, because you can't wait till that given Sunday or that Monday night and say, okay, it's time to turn it on. The preparation is very important.
You were saying off camera that the veteran players of the 49ers kept the young players straight because of you know, their work habits. And it seems to me that just talking to you know, I've never talked to anybody who played professional football that seemed to have had the work habits the 49ers did.
It's a little bit different because, but I think we had the players, you know, like the Ronnie Lotts, the Joe Montanas, Bill Walsh. The thing about that concept, you got to have the players that are going to go out there on the field to do it. You know, Bill led by example. Now he needed certain players to go out there and lead the right way. And if you were a younger guy, you didn't do your job, you know, it was up to that veteran to pull you aside and say, hey, look, you got to pick it up, or you're not going to be on this team.
Dwight Clark in particular was very helpful to you in your early years, right?
Yes, just his approach to the game. And I had a problem running that square out, that out route, because in the NFL.
Explain that. I mean, why did you have trouble with it?
Well, because collegiate-wise, they wanted me to come down and square it out. Plant, then square it out. In the NFL, with the West Coast offense, you had to roll out of it. That means you couldn't stop. You had to just continue out. And I had problems with that, and Dwight Clark helped me with that routes. And he helped me with that
What
route.
did he tell you?
It's just like doing a dance. That's the bottom line. It's like once you hit that fifth step, you got to roll, and you got to have the confidence in your quarterback that the ball is already going to be in the air. So that out route became one of my best routes.
I have seen where you were quoted saying that the reason you weren't caught from behind more than you were was because you ran scared.
Yeah.
And you could feel that hair on your neck rise when somebody was close.
Yeah, I used that to my advantage, though, because it was like I knew people that the opposing team, they wanted to hurt me. They had prepared all week long. And their main objective is, to be physical and try to take me out of the ball game. So when I got out in front, even some of the fastest guys couldn't chase me down because I was criticized about my 40 time coming out of college because I didn't run a very good 40 time. But you put me in that uniform, then you put someone behind me chasing me, that 4.5 all of a sudden turned into a 4.2. They could not believe how fast I could, run in that uniform.
Yeah, I can well imagine somebody trailing up
the
your
hair
back.
is standing on your back.
I can imagine.
So Tim,
great.
I think you probably would run a 4.2 also.
I'd more like an 8.2, but it'd be as fast as I could with somebody bearing down on me. Jerry, was this what you were talking about in that little role?
Yeah, with Dwight Clark, he helped me on, really, setting the defensive back up, and that was very important. But it's almost like you have to look at that as being an actor. And I like to think of myself as being Denzel Washington at times. So I have to set this guy up to make him think I'm going one direction, then I break it out to the out in perfect timing.
Make him think you're going inside and go outside.
Go outside.
I don't think, in my recollection, that I ever saw anybody cleanly hit you. It seemed like you had that sensory perception when somebody was there and you ducked and they collided or whatever. Nobody got a clean shot at you.
Well, Tim, that was all about awareness on the football field, knowing exactly where you are, and you do that through repetition. And you have to have a good quarterback. And I had two of the best with Joe Montana and Steve Young.
And that shot, by the way, was you were talking about off camera about the night before your first Super Bowl.
The night before my first Super Bowl, I remember I couldn't sleep. I played that game over and over in my head. Then once I went out there, I knew exactly what was going to happen on that football field because I had played it so many times, and I was able to go out there and have one of my best performances.
Because with the Super Bowl, you've got all day to think about it,
You got all day.
Right?
You got all day to think about it. They put together maybe a meeting like that morning. Then the rest of the day, you have to think about the game. And I remember going to the stadium, and I was so tired that I fell asleep on the table. And my teammates, they were walking by looking at me like, okay, how can he sleep right now? This is the biggest game of his life, and he's asleep. But I was prepared because I had put the work in all week long, and I couldn't wait to get out there and play football.
Well, I'll tell you, my friend, playing football is what you did so well for so long. And you are an example of what it takes. I mean, you've tried everything in life, not only Dance with the Stars, you were a scratch golfer at one time, and you were the best football player I've ever seen. Congratulations on your life.
Thank you so much.
Hope you enjoyed it. Jerry Rice has been my guest. I'm Tim McCarver. Thanks for watching.
Every player knew nothing was finer than to be a 49er, and some was willing to take pay cuts to play there. We were the envy of the NFL, The guys, they said, wore wingtips and carried briefcases because we were a first-class operation and meant business.